It's Omar. It is May 3rd, 5:46 p.m. and I'm gonna make a video just showing you how I build my watch list, really focusing on stocks that I like to short into rejections, and I'm gonna try to keep this simple and quick. Before I do that, let's talk about my watch list. So if you follow me, I'm on Twitter as watchotrade, otherwise known as the support and resistance God. I'm just being silly. Now, let's talk a little bit about what I said yesterday and did this morning. Okay. Last night, I posted my watch list and I said ESPR is my #1 place to shorten resistance. The stock tanked 15 points. My style may not be for everyone, but you eventually find yours, right? Study hard. And then I said watch Cassie to buy a breakout if it broke 832 and held, and short I into a resistance spike, right? And then this morning I showed you, ESPR, what I was looking at. Okay, this was like my setup at home. That's sort of what it looks like. I actually have 6 monitors. I have 3 monitors on top that I never even use. And this was all before the market opened. Okay, I even posted Tesla. I said, hey, short Tesla into a resistance rejection. Even 50 shares would get you several points, right? And then, of course, unfortunately, I missed the trade because I had to teach and it was unavoidable. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's pull up ESPR. Oops, sorry. Let's do ESPR. All right, so, I posted the chart yesterday with all of this, with all the support and resistance levels to potentially trade off. Now, this stock, yesterday, it opened at $64. It was at a high $64, and it tanked all the way to $44, got back to 57, and then just sold all the way off and closed at around $45. Fucking crazy, right? So now the thing is this: when a stock goes here, let me just do 5-day. I'll just do this real quick, make it easier for you to see. When a stock goes from $60 to $40, basically, it's not going to go all the way back to $60 in one day, right? What you're going to see is that the stock is going to have areas of support and resistance where you're going to map. And what you usually see, what didn't happen in this case, was pre-market, this thing was tanking. And you see I mapped my support and resistance lines here, all right? So let's talk about this real quickly, right? So anywhere down here, so look, the stock tanks down here, right? This is an area of support. Okay, each of these areas, when it gaps back up here, that's an area overhead, right? That's overhead support. Okay, resistance, I'm sorry. This is all resistance, but these are areas where the stock bounced. See how it bounced here, bounced here, bounced here, right? So you can see that all I'm doing is mapping out those areas of support and resistance. So you see, gaps up, pulls down, gaps up, pulls down, gaps up, pulls down. So these are areas that I'm mapping for potential entries to go short. Okay, now pre-market, this stock didn't even get back up. Look, it got as high as here, this 46.55, where you could see was a clear area of resistance. Couldn't even hold it pre-market, and simply freaking tanked, broke support before even the market opened. As soon as the market opened, and this thing fucking collapsed. Now it got to a low of $33. Yo, 100 shares, let's say 2020 hindsight, would have got you over $1,000. All right, now a guy like me, I would have went like 3, 4, 5,000 shares on this. This would have been, I'm disgusted, because this potentially for me could have been $100,000 trade. But it is what it is. So tomorrow you could look at the same stock to potentially short into resistance. Now it may gap up, right? It may start gapping up tomorrow, but it's not gonna break through all of this resistance to go all the way back to the high of where it was over here at $70. It's gonna spike, and then it's gonna get rejected into an area of resistance. So like here, this may be this is a potential area of resistance, correct? Because this is where it pulled back and bounced off, and here's another area where it bounced off, right? And up here, topped here. So this is an area. So these areas right here are areas of potential resistance. It needs to break these areas in order to keep going. Now it can touch one of these areas, get rejected, and then you just take a short risking off it. It's that simple, guys. It's not It's not rocket science. I even, you know, I also talked about right? I had its first red day finally, right? It had after just this crazy run, you know, it had this crazy run. It did not want to die, right? So, you know, it had a red day yesterday and it finished red again today. It's probably going to continue to drop. This is a key area here, this 950 area. We want to see what happens there. I mean, that is a lot of consolidation. So, you know, it may be a potential dip by there if it holds. But if it breaks that, man, and breaks this 890 level, I think it's really going to keep tanking. Now, what I meant by that is, right, so these are the areas yesterday, right? So, you know, I had this pullback here, and you see it gapped up and couldn't break above here. So you map an area of resistance there, and it had some support down here, and some support down here. And, you know, I had some overhead resistance here. Now, look what happens when the market opens. The stock gaps up, literally touches that 1238, which is the consolidation area. Couldn't break it, and you could took a short risking off that. So you get the morning spike and you short into resistance. That's when I say short into a morning spike into resistance. And look at that. This yellow line represents the previous day's close price. Collapses, gaps back up. Now the previous day's close price is acting as resistance, and you could have simply just held this shit all day. Because look at this. This thing freaking tanked. And look, gaps back up. Look at this. Can't break this area of resistance, which was previously support, and you could have reshorted. That's all it is, guys. That's the strategy. I mean, it's that simple. Then what I don't feel like I get enough credit on in Twitter is I do crazy shit like I did this. So I also posted Tesla, right? And I told you guys, right, you know, look to short Tesla, right? And I map all the support and resistance areas for you, right? I map them for you, and I put in a screenshot there for you, right? So, you know, the market opens, and I'm just trying to make a point, right? And I talked about TAP. We can talk about TAP too in a second. Man, I'm giving you so many fucking plays. It's crazy. And I said Tesla to watch the tank. You could have shorted into a consolidation area. All you need is a small piece, right? Right? So this is before the tank, right? Well, then look, I posted it, and then there goes the wash. The stock at this point was what? It was at I think it was at 281. This is before the first pullback, right? Well, look what happens. The market opens, right? The market opens. The stock, you know, gets rejected into this 286 level, right? Because look, this is an area of consolidation. Can't hold it. Look at this consolidation level, guys. Look what happens here. It can't break it. And then you could have shorted, risking that. All right. At this point, I saw the stock right around here. I think it was gapping back up, and it was forming a lower high right into this 282, 281 area. And I told you to go short, you know. And when I posted this, when it broke, it continued to go down all the way to 275. So 50 shares could have got you like several $100, you know. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I did this shit while I was on a webinar with, you know, just distracted, and I gave it to you, you know. If you're more impressed with somebody posting a P&L that ain't showing you shit than what I'm doing, calling out plays in real time while making trades and posting the charts and all that shit, y'all bugging. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Let's talk about now how you build a watch. Oh, before that, let's talk about, because this TAP was on my watch list too, right? I said look at TAP, same strategy as ESCR, short into resistance, right? So let's talk about TAP. Why did I put TAP on my watch list? Because TAP yesterday had this crazy tank. So let's pull up the big chart, right? This is how I mapped my support and resistance levels yesterday. I posted this on Twitter for all you guys to see. So you can see here are areas of support, and these are the overhead resistance, right? So I'm mapping all that. Well, look what happens. The market opens, right? So it starts consolidating pre-market, can't break above the 61 level. Market pulls back a little bit, market opens, it just has this quick run, right? Look where it got rejected, guys. Look at this area consolidation at the 62.88 level. The reason why I put 62.88 is because when you look at the candles, right? This is a 5-minute chart. Look at this. The low here is 62.88. and the low here is 62. Oh, this was close to the 62.88 level. Well, this is where it had that big pullback, and this is where it had the little bounce. So this is why I put 62.88. But look what happens, guys. The market opens, and the stock can't. Oops, sorry. Let me zoom out. The market opens, and the stock can't hold that area. Consolidation didn't get enough volume, and then you should also be mapping the volume. Look at how the volume. You see how the volume starts to fade here? When you get less volume, that usually means that the stock is going to pull back. And you see, you got that big squeeze here, and then look, the fading volume the rest of the day. So you could have shorted into this and got yourself what? This thing came down how many points? It's from 62 to 59, 61, 60, shit. You know, 3 points. You know, I mean, I don't know what, and that's all the strategy is. The stock fucking collapsed from 71 to $60. It's not going to get back up there. It's going to gap up, and it's going to get rejected into resistance, and then you just take it down. That's all it is, guys. That's the strategy. I know, like, people want to make you guys crazy, making you overcomplicate this. All you need is support and resistance, and all I do just for like, it just helps me verify things. I use the 300 SMA, the 200 SMA, the 50 SMA, and VWAP. That's it. I don't use no RSI, no MACD, no parabolic SAR, none of that bullshit. You don't need any of that, guys. I'm telling you, that's all bullshit. I used to, if you go to I have a YouTube channel, right? I got 140 fucking videos for you guys to watch. I mean, and I'm not going to be on this shit forever. At some point, I'm going to completely deactivate social media. So enjoy this while it lasts, because I may get sick of this shit at some point. But look at all these. I got tons and tons of videos to watch. This video only got 485 views. That's fucking pathetic. I mean, I'm giving you the strategy in the video, you know. I'm giving you all these strategies. Now, if the thing that I wanted to make a point was, when I first started trading, you would see, especially this momentum trading for beginners video, which I highly recommend you watch if you don't have any clue about day trading. I used to talk about using like parabolic SAR, MACD, RSI. I don't use any of that shit anymore. You know, I've evolved over a year, and I've gotten so much better at trading. And last year when I had my slump, you know, I realized that I was using, you know, I was like too dependent on the indicators and not on the chart. So I just, when I started stripping the chart and clearly started focusing on support and resistance, that's when my trading improved. That's when I started killing it. Now I'm crushing it. I don't post my P&L, but if you guys saw my P&L, you guys would be, let's put it this way, I'm making as much money as all your favorite fucking, all the guys you love to sweat on Instagram, I mean on Twitter, who post those huge P&Ls. I'm just not doing it because, one, it's not my style, and two, people, when you start posting that, that's all people want to see is your P&L. They're not focused on learning. They're not, and if you're thinking that way, you're gonna blow up. Don't worry about another man's pocket. What you got to think about is, how can I make money? So that's what I'm trying to teach you, a winning strategy. So with that said, now normally I go through the biggest percentage gainers and losers. So if you have Thinkorswim, you can just use a simple, there's a simple scanner called where is it, biggest percentage gainers and losers. And in theory, you can just go through either by percentage or by volume, however you want to, and then just literally click on charts and just start going through charts, right? You know, like this is a chart I would absolutely look to add to a watch list, because just from a technical standpoint, it's clear where there's resistance, right, which is the high of 1077, and clearly where there's support here of 976. I mean, it's a nice, easy way. If it breaks below this, it's probably going to, look at this. There's nothing holding this to get back to 845. The problem is that I bet you this is, oh, it's easy to borrow too. Yo, this is going to be on the watch list tomorrow for sure. And if you look at the chart, what you want to see, how's it been over the last year, you know? There's a stock that, you know, it has, yeah, this usually, when it has a run, it gives it back. Now, look at this. Last time, you know, it had a big run up to 17. It completely tanked back to 8. And it has a gap to fill below. Stocks generally will fill their gaps. Now, in this video, I really want to focus more on the other aspect, looking for stocks that are the biggest percentage losers, to show you my strategy. But in theory, you could take a stock, this stock, put it on the watch list, and and map your support and resistance levels to potentially go short or long if they break above or break below. So like, let's say this stock broke above 1077, and hell, take it long, risking 1077, you know. But if it gets rejected into one of these areas, you can take it short, risking off one of these levels. If it can't hold 976, I mean, this shit, there's nothing really holding it from getting back to 850. So this is a good chart to potentially trade, all right? But that's not really what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the biggest percentage losers to talk about what I was saying. So all you do again is you go into Thinkorswim, you go to public, you go into this percentage, and you just click on change losers. Now if you don't have Thinkorswim, the other way to do this is you go to finviz.com, right? You go to finviz.com, you click on screener, okay? You go to where it says all, click on all. You're gonna go to price. So you know this varies depending on the price. I like to look at stocks, especially for the biggest percentage losers. I like to look at stocks at 50 and 100, then 50 and below. Unfortunately, you can't look at stocks 100 and below. It only goes on up to under 50. So to look at stocks between 50 and 100, you have to literally click that, because I start there. And then what I do is at that point, then I go to current volume. I want to look at stocks that are liquid, so at least over 1 million shares that are, let's say, down 5%. Oops, down 5%, or even 3%, just really depends. But I'll use 5% now for this. And good, here we go. We got 3 stocks. Now, what I do at this point is I go to charts, and then I click on candle, because it gives you a nice easy way to see. Now look at this, CAH. Look at this shit, 65 to 50. This is probably gonna be my #1 play tomorrow. We'll see. So let's pull up the chart. CAH. Oh yeah, let me create a new watch list. Create a new watch list. Do 5/4, 18. All right, I'm gonna put this YRCH because I'm gonna put that on the watch list too, even though that's not the focus of this video, but that stock is too good to pass up. All right, so CAH, and you see it here. Here it is too. See, it's on Finviz, okay, CAH, and it's on the Thinkorswim, biggest percentage losers. All right, so we'll go to CAH. All right, so this shit, Cardinal Health, what a tank. Probably missed earnings or something. What is to say? Losing streak. Cardinal Health has biggest percentage decrease. Downside pressure weighs on healthcare. Plunge after lower guidance on surging tax rates. So I don't know. It had some bad results probably. That's probably what it was. Yeah, it had some bad results. All right. So I'm gonna pull up the big chart. Okay. So this thing, crazy collapse, right? And if you want, you can look further back in the time frame. Let's say 10 years. Let's see what this stock has been over the last 10 years. So this is a stock that was at one point $37, and it's been up in this $90 range, and it's been hovering between 90 and 60. Now it's at 50. So this is a big collapse. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm pulling up the 5-day 5-minute chart, and all I'm gonna do is map my areas of support and resistance. So when I look at this big tank right here, it had this big gap down, right? 54.66, right? Or 54.69. So let me edit this. All I do, guys, in that price level is all I did was when it says extend to right, I put on, I pick a color, I pick whatever style, I save it as a default, and that's how it shows up. It's that simple. All right, 54.69. So here we go. So that's an area of overhead resistance, right? It gapped down. This is where it first held. And then what I do so I can get the alert on my phone, I just go to create alert, and then I just put it here to 54.69. I used to write notes. I stopped writing notes. That shit just takes too much time. And then it gapped up, right? And it found its high here. So I'll put this as an area of overhead resistance as well. So this is 55.80, right? So I'm gonna click edit properties, 55.80, and then I'll put an alert there. So I right click, create alert, and this is all I do, guys. I'm just gonna do like 4 tickers, and then I'm gonna stop the video, and then I let you figure out the rest. All right, so then look, it gapped down here, right, and it bounced off here. So this is definitely an area of overhead resistance that we want to pay attention to, right? So that's what, that the low is 54.92. I mean 52.90. I'm sorry, 54.92. I don't know why I got 50. Wait up, low. Oh, I'm sorry guys. I'm 53.02. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so I want to fix this. Put this at 53.02. Right. I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna create an alert. 53.02. There we go. So boom, that was another area. And if you notice, look, when it gapped up, right, this was where it first bounced off. Look at this. When it gapped up, it couldn't hold this area. And look, if you're watching this in real time, you could have shorted, risking right here, because it couldn't hold this area of support. That's all stock trading is. And then look, it kind of gapped down. And then sometimes when I can't really get a clear indicator, what I'll do is sometimes I'll just use a 1 minute time frame to get a sense. And you can see this is kind of bouncing around all over the place. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll go at a bigger time frame. I'll look at like 15 minutes just to see. In 15 minutes here, I get a clearer vision here. So here was in the 15-minute time frame, this seemed to be a big area of consolidation right here. So for me, that 53.76 mark seems to be a big area of consolidation. So I like that there. So 53.76, and I'm gonna right click, go to create alert, and I'm just gonna move this down to 53.76, because that seems to be another area of consolidation. And then kind of gap down, and then you have all these other areas of consolidation. In theory, you can map each one of these areas below. So like here would be another area, because you could see, let me zoom in here just to make it easier for you guys to see. Like this to me right here would be another key area, because this is kind of where it had a dip and a nice bounce. So right here I would map this as well, just to see how it reacts to this 51.87 level. And it had 116,000 shares traded in that one 5-minute candle. Alright, so that low is 51.88. So I'm gonna map this, and I'm gonna put this as 51.88. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Okay, sorry, my computer's freezing. 51.88, and then I'm gonna right click on that, and I'm just gonna leave it, and there you go. And then I'm gonna use the low, obviously, of 50.79. So you have these other areas too, but to me those are like the key areas that I'm paying attention to see how the stock reacts to. And 50.79, which is the low. All right, now my guess is tomorrow pre-market, people are gonna start covering their shares. Okay, and you'll probably get a little spike, and then it's gonna get rejected into one of these levels to risk off of short, and it'll probably keep tanking tomorrow. All right, that's how kind of how it works. Now you're gonna say, well, Mo, you didn't map those areas overhead, and you could. I mean, in theory, yeah, it could in theory, test here, does have this gap to fill above. So there's always a possibility right here, so you can and you can map those areas too. So right here, which is 57, so you can put it, you can put another trend line there, 57, if you wanted to, just to be. I don't think it's gonna get back to 57, but it could. I mean, there's nothing stopping it from getting back to 57. You know what I mean? 57, was it 57.04, 57? Oops, let's do this. I'm not gonna put no alert up here, but here it is. Where is it? 50. Oh, the high here. I'm sorry. Yeah, 57. Yeah, so it's right. So let me edit this. 57. And that's all I do, guys. That's it. All right. And then you have another candle here of 58.20. So. All right, and then I would put an alert there, just so like if I'm not watching it, it'll alert me. Now if you're watching this, you don't need the alerts. Like if you're gonna be watching a stock all day, you don't need it. But I like to put the alerts. It just hits my phone, and just so I can see, because potentially I could take a trade, if I get an alert. Now what I would guess is tomorrow there's a lot of consolidation at this level here, and this, especially here too, at this 54 level. I don't think it's gonna get above it. And you probably have an opportunity. If it spiked it up to 54, you can short risking off that. Now you're gonna say, one more. What if it broke above 51.88? Could I take it long and looking at the next level of 53.02? Yeah, you could. So, you know, you can play this both ways. You can buy the break above a resistance level using that level as your stop, like to get out if it goes against you. I mean, and then, but you got to know that there's so much overhead resistance that you want to get it in out, because eventually this is going to get rejected in one of these levels, you know. I mean, it's going to need a lot of volume to break this consolidation area here. All right, and that's what I do. So that's the first stock. So we'll put that on the watch list, CAH, right? And you know, all I do is go through these things. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll filter by percentage, you know, make sure I have the highest percentage, or sometimes maybe I'll go through what had the most volume. So it just really depends on what you want to do. Okay, I'm filtering by the highest percentage. And let's see, let's go to FinViz before I do that. Let's go. CVS actually tanked from 70 to 62. So, and I know these are more expensive stocks, and you want the $5 stocks, and you can do that too, but you got to play what's there. Don't, you know, I know you guys are obsessed with Tim Sykes, and you think that's the end all be all to trading, and you think that, you know, you got, no, it's bullshit. He's just selling you a strategy because that's how he makes his money. But he's lying to you when he tells you that the volatilities in small caps. How many small caps went from 71 to 62 today? The stock that I picked went down, what, 15, 30 points in 2 days? Don't believe that bullshit he's selling you. He's just saying that because he has to sell you a niche. You know, that's all he's doing. He's just selling you a niche. Now, I like this chart even better than the other chart because I like the consolidation area here. It's really clear to see that it would have to break this level to break above and go. Now, so this is a stock that obviously CVS, which I actually like the pharmacy. It was up from 84 and now it's down. It hit a low of 60, got up to 70, and now it's tanking. It's just having multiple red days. Even if the day finishes green, you know, you could take a short, and you know, you just want a piece of that move, you know. So with that said, all right, let's put CVS. Let's look at CVS. All right, so I like CVS, so so here's an area of support, right? It starts gapping down here. This is a big area of resistance, you know, overhead resistance, which was acted as support at the time. That's what I'm saying. So here's 64. This is the low here is 64.56. So we're gonna put 64.56 here. We're gonna create an alert. All right, 64.56. So there's my alert. And then here, you know, kind of gapped up and it double topped here. So this is a huge area of overhead resistance. This 65.57. See, touch 65.56, 65.57 here. So we'll put 65.57 and we'll create an alert and we'll put 65.57. All right. And sorry guys, the computer's freezing a bit. Okay, and you have this consolidation. This will be nice tomorrow because my guess tomorrow it spikes, it can't hold the 63, and you could take it short. Or, you know, one of these areas it's gonna get rejected by. Even if it broke above 65, at some point this thing is gonna get rejected into one of these areas. You know, you can keep mapping all the way up, but you know, we'll see. And obviously there's a lot of consolidation in this area here. So in theory, yes, you can count this area here as an area that you want to pay attention to. So the low here 64.08, touched it once here 64.11, and then here again 64.12. So that 64.08, 64.11 area is an area that you should definitely be paying close attention to, especially here because there's more volume here in this candle than there is here. There's 121,000 shares in this candle, but there's 199,000 shares. So that 64.12 is to me is a bigger area of resistance because there's more volume in that 5-minute time frame. Yep. So I'm looking at that, and then I'm creating my alert, and then we have 64.12, and then I also got to create my alert here of that 64.73 right here, which is 130,000 shares. Actually 63.76. I'm sorry. And look at that, it got here as well, 63.72. So it's in this whole area. Let's put 63.76. Yep, so it's that area right there. We're gonna create an alert, and that's what I'm doing, guys. And look, it breaks down below and it bounces here. So right here, 63.16 is another area of that was support. Sorry, my dog is going crazy. All right. And these are the areas to me that are important. Obviously, there's some consolidation here. So in theory, yeah, you can use that. And then the low here of 62.25. All right. So these are the areas that I am potentially looking to. So what I want to see tomorrow is I would like to see this stock spike. I would love to see it get to this 63 level and get rejected in this 63.76 level and then just continue to tank and break down. That's all I'm doing, is just you want to see the spike and you want to short into resistance, because that's the area you play off. Now you're gonna say, well, Omar, what if it like broke above it, broke below it, and it breaks above it and I go short, but it breaks a lot? Do I just get out right here, or can I risk the next level above? Yeah, in theory you can risk the next level above if you want to. It's really your risk tolerance and what you're willing to risk. You know, it's really clearly up to you. All right. So, you know, so that's my, and in theory, yes, you can map overhead resistance too if you wanted to. In the event it got higher, these are key areas. This would be, you know, these are key areas that you can look at to see, well, how it would react if it got up this high. That's it, guys. That's what I do. I know it seems, I know it you know, I know people got you thinking that it has to be so complicated. It's not. Look at GGAL. Let's see this stock, GGAL. I don't know if I'm gonna put this on the watch list, but just to show you, right? There's another stock that's just freaking tanking. It's close to that 300 SMA right here, so you may see a bounce. But in theory, I'm not gonna put this on the watch list. If you want to put it on yours, I'm just going to leave these two. But if you wanted to, yeah, in theory, you can put this as well. And you can do the same thing again. What I'm going to do is I pick 2 higher price stocks. Now I'll put 2 lower price stocks just to show you 4. And I don't want to make this video too long, but I just want to show you, you know, how it is. And in theory, the way this would work is, look at this. This is an area right here that you definitely want to map. This area right here, 56.71. You know, I'll just put on the watch list too. Here's another one right here, 54.76. The reason why this does it is not enough volume. This is not liquid enough for me to really want to trade. This trades on average 281,000 shares. It had 1 million shares. This is not a very liquid stock. But just to test the strategy, map out your support and resistance and see how it reacts tomorrow. So here, these are all the areas that I would map. You see how it just clearly bounces? This is an area support, resistance, support, resistance, support. And then in theory, yeah, you could put another line here because this is resistance. I'm just going to leave it as is. Around here, consolidation, gaps down. Right here, bounces off here, support, resistance. That's it. That's all I'm doing, guys. And in theory, you can keep mapping overhead if you wanted to. You could put it here, and you could put some more here, and you could put some more here, and there you go. These would be all the areas that you could potentially trade off of. That's GGAL. So take a look at GGAL tomorrow to see how it pans out. Now, oops, let me go back here. So I'll put it on here just so you can, you know, if you watch the video, you can look at it and see how it does. Now, in theory, all right, those are the higher price stocks, but some of these lower price stocks. Now here, NVIV would be a stock that, yeah, you can do this to as well, but it's not liquid. There's no volume, so you know you would skip this. CHEK, which I had, man, look at this. Just to prove a point, look at CHEK. Just want to prove a point. Let's look at the yearly, right? So it had this big red day, then it gapped down, then it spiked up, and then it tanked, right? So if you look at the 5-day, look what happens. And I'll just start with the high point. Here's the 1560 mark, right? This is where it got a high, right? The next day, which was on, this was on, what was this? Tuesday, right? Yesterday. Look what happens. The market opens, it gets rejected right into this overhead resistance consolidation area. You could have took it short, risking off there. Look at this, just tanked. Look, bounced off here, support, consolidation area. Then next day, look what happened. It didn't even spike. There was a pre-market. It spiked. It spiked up to here, this area consolidation, right? Because here's this is why I mapped a resistance line here. A lot of consolidation, and look, got rejected by it, took it down. That's why I love shorting. That's why I love shorting. You know, You know, that's why I love shorting. To me, shorting is the edge, guys. Trust me. 2 years ago I didn't even know what short selling was. It took me 3 weeks to figure out what the hell short selling was. But that's the edge. Now tomorrow, even though it's, I don't know if it's on here, but now if I did the same thing, let me go back to the filter, and I wanted to look for stocks under $50 and under. So I say like under $50. I would go back here and go to where it says under $50, using the same thing, down 5% over 1 million. And if you don't see enough plays, like, you can lower this. You can make this 1%. You can make this 2%. But look, when I do ups, I pick up 3%. That was a mistake. I'm going to say down 3%. Let's say if I use down 3%, look what happens. 122 charts. Like, I don't want to look at 122 charts. I mean, you could. But you know what? I can narrow that down. That means that there's a lot of stocks that are down. So I'll use 5%, and maybe you look at 10%. Just really up to you. And I want to look at big stocks that are down big. Like, look, Car, for example. This is a stock that closed at $43. Okay, this is something that I would potentially look at to short into a resistance rejection tomorrow. You know, look at this. Went from $50 to $42. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to gap up a little bit, get rejected into resistance. And you can short. And all these stocks are easy to borrow. That's the beauty of this strategy. It's just, you know, more expensive, but you get so many points. Who gives a shit? Look, so here's a big area, right, of, this is a big area of support, right? And then this acted as resistance right here. So here there's some more consolidation right here. So I would map this 44, 68, 44, what is it, 68, 69, 70 area. All right, so I put 44, 68. Okay, and you know, and then here kind of gapped down and popped up, so I would put some here, see how it reacted. And then, you know, all along the way down right here there was another little pop, and then down here hit the low 42.38, got to a high here. So this is an area that I would pay attention to. This 43, this is a 43.73 area I would look at, because that's where it kind of like topped out and then it kind of like gapped down. So I would look at these potential areas to short into tomorrow. So you know what you want to see, and it already started spiking pre-market. I bet you tomorrow this thing, if it does, maybe it gets to here, this 44 level, 44.68 level, gets rejected and continues tanking. Or it may test one of these two other areas above it, but it's going to eventually tank at one of these areas, and then you could take a short risking off one of those areas. Right? So I'll put it on the watch list so you guys can, you know, keep an eye on tomorrow. I think for me tomorrow, the nicest pattern I like is the CVS pattern, because you have so much consolidation here that I would like to see how it reacts to that. It's just really simple to read. But we have others. So let me go back to this, and there's a lot of stocks that are down. You know, I look for the ones that have the big red candle. So you see this was a big red candle. AVP is a big red candle, but this stock probably doesn't have a lot of range. As you can see, it's, you know, so like I'll put it up there just so you guys can see. I'll put up AVP. All right, this thing went from Avon went from 2 to 212. Now, in theory, what you would want to see tomorrow is, first off, it's probably going to be hard to find shares to short, but let's say you can't short it. I would like to see, you know, because, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Look at the 1 year chart. Like, this is not a stock that moves with a lot of range. That's why I really wouldn't be care to short it. But in theory, I mean, if you wanted to test this on a slow price stock, you just want to put right here, there's an area of consolidation here. So this is where it bounced off of here. Right here, right here, right here. So you want to see the spike and see how it reacts. It probably is going to get rejected at this 234, 230.42 level and then tank. Or the previous day's close price a lot of times will act as an area of resistance as well. A lot of consolidation here. And that's what you're doing. That's the strategy. You're looking for stocks that are gapping down big, and then you want to short into resistance. I love them with like the low floaters. A lot of times though, unfortunately, with the low float stocks, you know, it's difficult to find shares. Like look at this LKSD. This thing had a big red day. Let's pull up that one, and this is the last one I'm gonna do, and then I'm just gonna end the video because you get the point. So this is not this had a big tank from 16 to 12, but the thing I don't like it's not liquid. It's not very liquid. So for me, this, I wouldn't really pay attention to this. I mean, in theory you could, but it's not liquid, so I'm gonna skip that one. Let's look for something a little bit more liquid. This is a good one, NSIT. I'm gonna skip that. I'm trying to look for something a little bit cheaper for you guys. Let's see. FEYE. Let's see that one. That one had a big FEYE. And this is what you gotta do. You gotta go through the charts, and you gotta just you know hover to discover, man. You gotta look at the charts and figure it out. That's why I don't do these videos every day. It's just time consuming. So here, like FEYE, right? Look at this. It went from 19 down to 16, right? There's a lot of consolidation here. I bet you tomorrow it gets up to this level and it probably tanks. You can map these areas just to see. So in theory, if I was going to trade this, I would map this level here. You could zoom in, right here. There's a lot of consolidation, as you can see. There's a lot of consolidation. The 1750 1751 level, as you can see. Look right here, it low 1749, 1750, 1750. Yeah, so I would put like 1750. See how it reacts to 1750 tomorrow. All right. And then you also want to look at the areas above. So right here, this is an area where it kind of held 1784, and then you want to see where it bounces. So it bounced here. So this is an area you see right here. Here's another area of consolidation. Right, there's a lot of consolidation here, and then in theory here, because it bounced right off here, so you can map this as well to see how it reacts if you wanted to. But I'm going to put it here, right here, and these are the areas that I'm looking at. And then also right here above, because it kind of couldn't break this once it got below it. So this is definitely an area of consolidation. So these are the areas that I would be looking to see how it reacts to when it opens tomorrow, and it's potentially going to get rejected in one of these areas and then tank. All right, or maybe it gets to 1750, then finds a support here at 1634, and then it just runs crazy. But you just want to catch a piece of it, that's it. And that's all you do, guys. That's all it is. That's the strategy. Tomorrow, to me, and it didn't pop up on the scanner. I don't see it here because I think I put but I would be something that I would definitely be looking at tomorrow as well. Let's see if it comes up. I did not appear here in any of these, but I'm gonna put I as the last stock, and then I'm gonna stop this video. Oh, let's put FEYE since I mapped it. Let's put it. All right, and you can again map these yourselves, look at them. All right, I'm gonna put I for tomorrow. I have all these lines because I've been tracking this forever. But look what happened, guys. And I told you guys to look at I today to short it to resistance. And had you listened to me, you would have made a killing, right? This was yesterday. So let's zoom in here, right? This was yesterday. Yesterday, the stock closed red, right? If we pull up the 1-year chart, you can see. Sorry, guys. Closed red, right? So this was yesterday, closed red. Today, look at that, right? So now, look what happens here, guys. This is what I was talking about when I said short into a resistance spike, right? So here, right, it topped out yesterday at this 13, actually the day before yesterday, 1386. But when the market opened, it topped out here at this 27 level, right? So it gapped down, it found support here at 1160, gapped up, found some support here at, so overhead resistance at 1238, gapped down, gapped up. And all I did was I mapped these areas, right? So I mapped this area here, I mapped this area here, I mapped some area here. Look what happens when the market opens. The market opens, look what it literally touched, this 1238 level. Couldn't break it. Why? Look at this. This is a huge area of consolidation. That's why I mapped it here. Look, 1230, 1238. That's why I mapped this line here, 1238, because look, if you go across, there's a lot of consolidation here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, there. That's kind of where it is. So, and look what happens. Market opens, stock touches, literally 1238, can't hold it, gaps down, gaps back up, forms a lower high, can't get back to that 1238, and this shit tanked. Look, the next area below is that 1218 level, okay, that I had mapped. It couldn't hold 1218, and sure enough, this shit fucking tanked. So what am I expecting tomorrow? More of the same. More of the same. Now you got to look at the underhead support. I already have it mapped out because I've been looking at this previously. Now what you got to do is right here, this is super important, is this 1104, 1103 area, and see it touched what hit 1098, 1098. But this area of consolidation, there's a lot of consolidation at this area. I would be looking to see how it reacts to this tomorrow. So I would map this. All right. Okay, and map that and see. So, you know, right now it's hovering this 1160 mark, right? But tomorrow, I bet you that it spikes and it's probably going to get rejected in one of these levels, 1184 or this 1218 level, and you can take a short risking off one of those levels. It's going to get rejected in one of these levels. I mean, it has gone crazy where it just goes nuts. But I think that now it's starting to show weakness, and I think this is the beginning of the backside of the move, because this is the first time, let me pull up the 1 year chart again. This is the first time in Jesus, since back in March, it's had multiple red days. So the last time it went on this trend, it had like 5 or 6. It had 6 or 7 of them before it went on this rip. Well, it just had 2 big red days. Tomorrow's Friday, so shorts may cover and you may see a squeeze, but it's still probably going to get rejected into a resistance area. So just keep that in mind. All right, so map your support and resistance lines, your overhead resistance and your under support, and that's it. So it looks to me tomorrow, right now, I mean, I would have to do more analysis, but I think CVS to me may be my #1 play for tomorrow. $62, I get it, but you know, I got, you know, it is what it is. This is what I do. So tomorrow, I would love to see how CVS reacts. Now, what you may want to do is pull up a bigger time frame and see what's below, what's support below. So I can't see anything on this 30-day time frame. Let's see. Let me zoom up. Let me cross down. Yeah. So down here, there's support below. So you gotta be careful how it reacts. Like, how is it gonna react when it gets down below? Like, there's a lot of consolidation here at this 6078 level. And you know, obviously the 6014 level. So you want to map the underhead, you know, consolidation areas of potential support, so that if the stock keeps going below, keeps dipping down, you know, you have those areas mapped out for a potential bounce or to cover into. And that's all it is, guys. That's all I'm doing. I know it sounds good. Now in the opposite trend, I also look for stocks that are up, holding, and I look for stocks holding their highs to potentially buy breakouts or to short into, you know, a rejection. Like for example, like a stock like KKR. Well, this wouldn't be something that I would put on my watch list, but trying to see a stock that I would potentially look. Well, I would look for something like a stock like this, FTR. This is a stock that kind of went from 8 to 11. It's holding its highs. This is something that I would put on my watch list for tomorrow to see, is it going to break 1111 to keep, you know, take it long, or is it going to, you know, or is it going to gap down? And I would look at areas for support to potentially buy a dip. That's how I go long. I buy dips or I buy breakouts. That's my strategy. But I primarily focus more on shorting because I just do so well with shorting. All right, folks. So I hope you found this helpful. I do have a YouTube page. I have 140 videos. So much content for you guys to review. If you don't want to look at my entire history, my advice is go to the playlist and just start watching the videos since January 2018. So go to do January 2018, February, March, and April. A lot of good information. This is where I really focus on my, like, where I'm at today. If you want to see how I evolved, start from 2016 and work your way up. 140 videos and no more than enough videos. All right, guys. So I hope you found this helpful. You know, like, subscribe, share, and share with everyone. As you can see, guys, I'm posting shit in real time. I'm posting things before they happen. You know, I don't know anybody else, honestly, on Twitter that's doing this. I mean, I posted a match yesterday, and that was a killer trade, and it's still tanking. I posted AGN a couple of days ago, and that thing, go see where AGN is now. I mean, AGN, just before I end this, I'm going to show you guys something. I could have just kept playing AGN. But look where AGN is. Look at this shit. It's now down $145 from when I was telling you guys to short into this resistance of 155. Look what happened. This shit tanked. It hasn't even had a bounce. This is nuts. I mean, you can look at this tomorrow too. For potentially tomorrow may be it may finally have a green day because this has been so beaten down. But you know, I've been killing it, man. You know what I'm doing, no one else is doing. Anyway. With that said, you know, like, subscribe, share, leave comments on the YouTube, on the Twitter. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, guys. So have a great evening, and we'll see what's up.